You're listening to the Retro Mo Podcast. I'm your host, Mo, and I love to play and review old video games and a few new games too. If you prefer to read instead of listen, check out my written reviews at retromo.substack.com. In this episode, I'll be sharing my experience with Elder Scrolls III Morrowind for the PC, released in 2002. I scored this game 7 out of 10. A good game. A classic forerunner that introduced many gamers to Bethesda's 3D open-world RPG formula. And when fully modded, this game can still offer a great experience. Morrowind. This game is beloved by many who are no doubt heavily fueled by nostalgia from a wonderful time in gaming. Super Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, both teased us with their open area game design, but the wild success of Grand Theft Auto 3 really launched this open world craze into the stratosphere. Players loved the complete freedom of roaming a fully 3D environment, going wherever they wanted to go, doing whatever they wanted to do. Morrowind followed just a year later and expanded on this core concept, offering the massive, fully explorable island of Vardenfell. So much of what made Oblivion and Skyrim excellent games started here in Morrowind. You've got a huge 3D world to explore, a complex society to immerse yourself into, a compelling main quest, a variety of side quests and faction quests, crafting, custom spells, readable books, loads of creatures and hostile characters to battle or sneak past, lockpicking, pickpocketing, tons of weapons and armor options, and some of the best fantasy lore a nerdy RPG gamer could ask for. Morrowind formed a strong foundation for Oblivion and Skyrim to build on. Morrowind is also over 2 decades old, so it has plenty of frustrating quirks. The combat system leaves much to be desired, especially after playing Oblivion or Skyrim. Even though it may look like you should make contact with your enemies as you swing your weapon, unless your stats are high enough, your weapon skill, agility, stamina, etc., you will often miss and do no damage. This is a leftover, quote, feature from Daggerfall, but thankfully, there's a mod to fix this. Movement speed can also feel brutally slow. Running out of stamina is a dash of realism that just isn't fun. But again, you can fix this with a mod, or just by jacking up your character's speed stat using the console. This is how I like to play this game. I use the console and I set my speed to 400, and I just zip around from town to town like Sonic the Hedgehog. This also helps to accommodate for the lack of a real fast travel system. The Silt Strider and boat travel systems are okay, but they're so limited. There's portions of the map that can't be accessed except by walking very far. The visuals in vanilla Morrowind are just wrinkly with age. Thankfully, there are great mods that update the textures and improve just about everything. It can be overwhelming getting started with graphic mods, but I've linked to a guide on my Substack that can be a good place to start. While Morrowind's story is not nearly as engaging as Oblivion or Skyrim, I'm still amazed at the sheer amount of lore development that Morrowind brought to the series. It was such a leap forward from Daggerfall. There are over 300 books that you can find and read in-game, and these books average about 400 words per book. Some of the quests can be a bit bland and repetitive, but the main quest has a solid narrative. Things do drag a bit through the bloated Nerevarine trials and the Ashlands, but the ending is very well done and worth the hassle. The Morrowind soundtrack from Jeremy Soule is not as well known as his Skyrim or Oblivion soundtracks, but definitely don't pass up on this score. That same celestial sound can be found here too. I'll never forget the sense of awe and excitement I felt when being released into Seyda and hearing the track Caprice queue up for the first time. There are just so many great tracks that perfectly capture the grandeur and wonder of Vardenfell. It's a fantastic soundtrack. It should be noted, however, some disturbing allegations against Soule have come to light. and this has soured many gamers on the lasting legacy of his work. Morrowind is old and has plenty of quirks that might turn some modern gamers away, but those who are willing to put in a little effort by heavily modding this game into a much more playable state will be richly rewarded. Thanks for listening to the Retro Mo podcast. As always, I do my best to keep all of my content spoiler-free and rated E for everyone. If you find this podcast enjoyable or helpful, tell a friend and consider giving a 5-star review on your favorite podcast app. If you have questions or comments, you can send an email to retromopodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Godspeed.